Okay, moving on to our next program now, which is multiplication table of a number. A multiplication table shows the result of multiplying a number with 1 to 10. So it's a great way to understand how numbers scale. Now let's start by typing the code. So first we have given the comment, that is we are writing a program to display the multiplication table of a number. Now let's give a variable num is equal to 7. Alright, now we'll give the for loop. For I in range, since we have to print the table from 1 to 10, we'll give 1 to 11. Then we give colon. Now let's use the print function to print, but we'll be using f string. So f double quotes, we'll give num into, let's give I, all right, is equal to, let's give num into I. Now double quotes closed, parenthesis closed. Now let's run the program. See, so it has given us the multiplication table of 7. 7 ones are 7, 7 to the 14, till 7 tens are 70. Okay, now next move on to our next program, which is sum of natural numbers up to n. Natural numbers are positive counting numbers starting from 1. The sum of first n natural numbers can be found using a simple formula, which is sum is equal to n into n plus 1 divided by 2. Now this is the most efficient and the fastest method using the mathematical formula. Now let's see the code. So we give n is equal to 10, then we give sum is equal to n into n plus 1. Then we give floor division divided by 2. And then we print sum is, comma, sum. Now we get the sum is 55. Now you must be wondering that why we have used floor division. Because the expression n into n plus 1 divided by 2 gives us a float value, that is 55.0. But natural numbers sums are always integers. So we use the floor division, which means divide and give me just the integer part only. We don't want the decimal part. Hence we have done the floor division here. On to our next program, which is finding the Armstrong number. A number is called an Armstrong number if the sum of its digits raised to the power of the number of digits is equal to the number itself. Now let's see an example. For example, let's take a 3-digit number, that is 153. Since it's got 3 digits, so we'll raise each individual digit to the power 3. And the sum of 1 to the power 3 plus 5 to the power 3 plus 3 to the power 3 is equal to 153 itself. So it is an Armstrong number. Now let's start coding. First, we'll give the comment and say program to check Armstrong number. Now, first we have to set the number to check, which is 153 in our case, which is a 3-digit Armstrong number. So let's give num is equal to 153. Next, we will do sum is equal to 0. And this we are initializing sum is equal to 0 to store the sum of the cubes of digits, which we'll be doing next. Then third, we have the temp is equal to num. So this is a temporary variable that we have created, temp variable, to store the original number in temp for later use. Now let's start with our while loop, that is while temp, which has the number, is greater than 0, colon, this loop will continue until all the digits individually are processed. So what we will give, digit is equal to temp, because temp has the whole number, modulo we'll do 10. So what will this line help us? This line will help us to extract the last digit of the number. So the moment you do number modulo 10, it will give us the last digit of the number, because it will give us the remainder. So 153, when we divide it by 10, what do we get? We get 3 as the remainder, right? So that is the last digit. Next, we'll give sum, where we'll store the cube of the last digit, right? So sum plus is equal to, let's do digit raised to the power 3. So now sum will have the last digit raised to the power 3 stored. So we add the cube of the digit to sum. Now next, after we have done this, we'll take temp, we'll do floor division. We'll do floor division of temp is equal to 10. Now what we'll do, because we are done working with the last digit, so we will remove the last digit from temp using the integer division. So now we have to work with 1 and 5. So again, the loop will do the similar process for 1 and 5. Now, after the loop completes, so let's give a comment here that after the loop, compare the calculated sum with the original number. So after the loop, we'll compare the calculated sum and sum with the original number. So what we'll do, if condition, right? You know, for comparison, we always do the if condition. So if sum is equal to num that we have calculated, print that num is a Armstrong number. Num is a Armstrong number. You can, let's give Armstrong number. So if equal, it is an Armstrong number. Else what we'll give, tell me. Else we'll print that it is not an Armstrong number. So I hope you are getting it. Print that num, and then in double quotes, we can give is not an Armstrong number. Very nice. So I hope this code logic is clear to you, right? Now let's run it. So it is giving us the answer that 153 is a Armstrong number. Okay, moving on to our next program, which is palindrome number. A palindrome number reads the same forwards and backwards. For example, let's take 121. So when we reverse 121, we again get 121 only. So it's the same forwards and backwards. So it is a palindrome. Now let's start and code the first example, which is of 121. Now let's take number is equal to 121 in the num variable. Now here we are using the slicing technique to convert the number to, first we convert the number to string and then we reverse it using the slicing, backward slicing like we have studied earlier, and then we compare the original number with the reversed number. So if string, we are converting the num to string, is equal to first string num, and then we are doing the reverse slicing. So it will give us string -1, that is at the index, last index, so 1 to 1. So this is the reversed string and this is the original string. So if it matches, then we'll say it is a palindrome, else we'll say that num is not a palindrome. So I hope this is clear to you. Here we are using the slicing for reversing. Next, let's see the other method also. Here we are using the while loop. So num is equal to 121. Now here what we are doing is let original is equal to, we are storing the number in original, and reverse is equal to 0. Now while number, that is the number 121, is greater than 0, what we are doing similar to what we did earlier. So here also we'll first take the last digit. So if we do num mod 10, it will give us the last digit. Then now for our ease, let's, for each loop iteration, let's print the output. So here what is happening is 121. So when we do mod 10, so what we'll get in digit, we'll just get the 1, the last digit, which is 1. Now reverse, we have initialized to 0. So what will reverse value be? Reverse into 10. So 0 into 10 is 0 plus digit, that is 1. So reverse will have 1. Now what we are saying is in the next line that num is equal to num floor division 10. So the both, like this line is actually building the reversed number that we want, 121. And in the next line, we are removing the last digit. So num is equal to num mod floor division 10. So here what will happen is we'll only get 1 and 2. The last one is gone. Again, the loop will run. So now num has 12 is greater than 0. Now again, it will take out the last digit with mod 10. So we get 2. Again reverse. Now see, reverse is very important in this case. Here initially we reverse had 1, so now reverse already has 1, so we'll do 1 into 10. 10 plus what digit we just got? 2. So now reverse will have 1 and 2. Again num is equal to num floor division 10, so it will only get, num will have 1 now. So is 1 greater than 0? True. So again it will 1 modulo 10, again it will work with digit will get 1. Now reverse, what will it get? Initially it had 12, so 12 into 10, 120 plus 1 we just got, so 1, 2, 1. And now in finally num mod 1 floor division 10 will give you 0. So no more loop iteration. So now finally reverse has got 121. Now again we'll have to do the check, that is comparison. So if the original number, you remember we had stored our number in original variable, so if original is equal to reverse, then we are saying it is a palindrome number, else it is not a palindrome. So I hope this example using the while loop is clear to you. So here we are again using the same logic, that is using modulo for finding the last digit. Here we are building the reversed number, and here we are doing floor division to keep removing the last digit. So now let's move to our next program, which is to check if a number is perfect number or not. A perfect number is a positive integer that is equal to the sum of its proper positive divisors, excluding itself. Now let's take the example of 6. So 6 is a perfect number. Why? Because what are all the divisors of 6 excluding 6? That is 1, 2, and 3. And when we add 1 plus 2 plus 3, it gives us 6. Now, what you must be asking, what is a divisor? A divisor of a number is any number that divides it completely without leaving a remainder. Now, let's look at the Python code for checking if a number is perfect number or not. So, first, we'll start with the comment, that is program to check if a number is perfect number or not. So, this helps in the readability of the program. It is not necessary, but it is a good practice. Next, let's give, for example, num is equal to 28. You can take any number of your choice. Then let's take another variable, sum is equal to 0, where we'll be storing the sum of the divisors. We are able to store the sum of all divisors. Next, let's loop through all the numbers from 1 to, we have to loop through all the numbers from 1 to num minus 1. So we'll do for I in range 1 to num, and then we give colon. If we'll say that num mod I, if it is equal to 0, if num mod I is equal to 0, then what we'll do, we'll have to store the sum of the divisor. So sum plus is equal to I. So here I is for I in the range 1 to whatever number you have given. Now the moment number is completely, there is no remainder, modulo I, and if we get is equal to 0, that means it is completely the number that divides it completely. So I is dividing num completely, so we'll store I in sum. So I hope this is clear. Now we add the divisor to sum. Now after this loop runs completely and it checks for all the divisors, then finally we will be doing another check condition, that is if now our sum is equal to the number that we have given initially, then what will be print? That this number is a perfect number. Okay, else what will be print? Else we'll print that the number is not a perfect number. Now let's run it. So 28 is a perfect number. To see all the divisors of 28, you can print the I, which completely divides the number. So when I've added print I here, so I'm getting 1, 2, 4, 7, 14. And if you add all these divisors, which is equal to 28. Hence 28 is a perfect number.